No grocery shopping until this beef is gone.
Mom, stop buying beef. Beef, beef. Oh yeah, more beef. Oh yeah, more beef. If you are tired of the same old ground beef meals and you want to try something different, today I am bringing you 5 of the most amazing, the best tasting ground beef recipes you've ever had. These are kid tested, mom approved, and this will transform your weeknight dinners. And you are not gonna wanna miss my fake out, takeout noodles. These will freaking change your life. So hook me up with a thumbs up on this video, subscribe if you want to see a whole bunch more cooking videos, and let's get going. We are going to make some Greek meatballs with this 1 pound of ground beef. I have a little bit of garlic in here. I like to puree this in my food processor and then freeze it, so that's where that came from. I have about half of a small onion that I also put in the food processor, so it's really, really small and kind of juicy.
Juicy, yeah, ripe.
I have about a half a cup of breadcrumbs right here, 2 tablespoons of milk, and I am going to be utilizing this Greek seasoning that I have in my pantry that I didn't use as much as I thought I would. You don't have to use this, just salt and pepper is gonna be totally fine, but I will utilize this along with some fresh parsley. Half of a teaspoon of black pepper, half a teaspoon of salt, 1 egg, and a 1/4 cup of chopped parsley. Then mix until combined and form into meatballs. Now, traditionally you would coat these in flour and fry them, but I really do enjoy just cooking meatballs in the oven.
It's my car and it's my car. I make the rules, okay?
So we'll cook these meatballs in a 400-degree oven for about 20-ish minutes, depending on how big the meatballs are. And if you want to serve these like in a pita or something, you might want a smaller one. This is quite a small, like tablespoon and a half, maybe 2 tablespoon scooper. I usually use this one for cookies. And so this would make the meatball process very easy and uniform. And then they will go into the oven and I will gather all of my fixings to serve this as an entire meal. I highly recommend running your onions through a grater or food processor to do this, so you don't get like huge chunks of onion. Like you want onion flavor, but not rustic style onion in your meatballs, because these meatballs are not that large. Now, because I like everything in the form of a taco.
Oh, there it is, tacos.
I'm gonna take some naan bread. This is a little mini naan guy. And I'm gonna put some tzatziki sauce on there, and my meatballs are just gonna go right on top. And if you have some extra parsley hanging around, you can throw that on top, but look how delicious. Oh my gosh. Bon appetit. That's French, not Greek. I don't know it in Greek. Nom nom nom. You may have noticed I've been using a lot of Thrive Market products from my pantry in today's cooking video. That's because Thrive Market is sponsoring today's video, and I love a lot of their products, especially when you are in the market for specialty ingredients. I live in a small town. It's hard to find specialty ingredients in my stores. They're also awesome if you follow specific diets. One of my best friends has a few kids that have celiac, so it's really easy to go on Thrive Market and sort by gluten-free, or maybe you're doing keto, or maybe you're eating the paleo diet, or whatever it is, you can sort by that diet to find whatever products are gonna work for you in your lifestyle. Now, I was talking to my friend recently about Thrive Market, and she was like, well, isn't it more expensive? And this is one of my favorite things about Thrive, is if you find that product cheaper anywhere else, Thrive will match the price. So you can be confident that you are getting the best deal. You can shop from your house at your convenience any time of night or day. I usually get my box within a day or 2, which is amazing, because remember what I said? I live in the middle of nowhere. I've been ordering from Thrive Market for years at this point. I've never had a problem with things arriving broken. Everything is packed pristinely, and this is my favorite thing ever. So I have my favorite products on Thrive Market, right? So I can hit the buy it again button, and they're gonna list out all the things that I've previously bought, because in every order I have to buy the avocado oil, the olive oil, the Thrive Market salsa. Don't sleep on the Thrive Market salsa. It's freaking bomb. And because I'm all about the savings, here's 2 more ways you can save with Thrive Market. Are you ready? You can sort by best deals or sales. They have over 800 products on best price ever right now. Number 2, if you sign up with my link right now, thrivemarket.com/frugalfitmom, you will save 30% off of your first order, plus get a free gift up to $60. It is the first link down in the doobly doo below, thrivemarket.com/frugalfitmom, 30% off, which is basically half off, which is basically free. That's girl math, my friend. And if you wanna know all the products I purchased and used in today's video, I will have those listed in the bloop below as well. Save a whole bunch of money with Thrive Market. click below. Now let's get back to the rest of the recipes. To make our Korean beef rice bowls, I am starting with an extremely large pan, and I'll kind of explain why later. This is very oversized. So we'll get started with any kind of oil that you prefer. I'm gonna use this avocado oil today, and I'm going 2 pounds of organic grass-fed ground beef. And fun fact, I bought this beef in 2021. It's been in the freezer this whole time, and guess what? It's totally fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
So don't be scared to pull out that old beef out of your freezer and give it a go. So I'm gonna come in here with my meat masher, and we're gonna add a bunch of garlic to this meat as it cooks. So I have this garlic that I pureed in a food processor right here. So I'm gonna do like a good tablespoon, it's a lot of garlic. So the garlic and the beef will cook together until it's all brown. And while this is cooking, let's go over and make our sauce that we will pour in as soon as this is done. This is a homemade sauce, so there are a bunch of ingredients for this, but I think it's worth it because it's so good. So it's basically just dump everything in a bowl and whisk it together. Because I am cooking with 2 pounds of ground beef, it is a larger quantity of ingredients, so don't freak out about that. And I do like to have extra sauce. 3/4 of a cup of soy sauce, 3/4 of a cup brown sugar. Ooh. Oh yeah, it's gonna be real good.
Diabetes!
I have 1.5 tablespoons of sesame oil. This is strong stuff. You don't want to go overboard there. 1 teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes. You can go less if you don't like it spicy, but I like it spicy. I have a 1/4 cup of ponzu sauce, a 1/4 cup of rice wine vinegar, 1/4 cup of sweet Thai chili sauce. You don't need this one, but I kind of like the sweet, spicy background heat of this one. This was not in my original recipe, and then one day I was cleaning out the fridge, threw it in, and we were like, this is bomb. I should do this every time. It's so good. And some ground ginger. I personally love to use this ginger paste. Lasts a really long time. It's shelf stable until you open it, and then you just like squeeze it out. I'm gonna use about a tablespoon, and then you just store it in the fridge. This is an awesome product to buy. Give it a whisk, and we will be ready to add to the beef as soon as it is done cooking. Okay, after our meat is brown, the sauce that we made, just the whole thing goes. What I love about this is you can actually make it in advance. You could make this on a Monday and put it in the fridge and then just reheat it for Tuesday while you mix up the rest of your toppings, which I'll show you in just a second. And then once this is all said and done, I love to serve it over either rice or rice noodles. I always have rice in the house, so this is a very easy pantry basic meal for me. And then if I do happen to have rice noodles, which I do today, my family freaking loves rice noodles. And you know what? I do too. Let's bring this up to a bubble. I am going to pour an entire 2-pound bag of the tricolor coleslaw. And I really like using this bag because I don't have to chop it myself. There's something weird that happens to cabbage. The more you chop it, the bigger it gets. And I know this is gonna look just ridiculous, but I like to serve this with cooked cabbage anyway. It bulks it up quite a bit. So this is like pre-washed, triple washed, ready to cook with. And it looks like I've just completely overpowered the meat, but don't worry, this will cook down drastically.
It shrinks.
And the chopped bag from Sam's Club, I think is less than $2, maybe $1.98 or something like that, which is a screaming deal for this much cabbage. And I have about 1.5 tablespoons of sesame seeds. Okay, this is all going to cook together until the cabbage is cooked down. Then we'll make our toppings, our rice noodles, and build our bowls. It's kind of like egg roll in a bowl if you left it like this. But I like all the other stuff. I think you will too. Okay, I'm gonna mix up some rice just in my Instant Pot. Super easy. I like to do maybe 3 cups of rice with 4-ish cups of water. You can add a little lime juice if you want. You don't have to. I just hit this rice button. Easy peasy. Let's build our bowls. I'll show you 2 variations. So this one's gonna start with rice. So we have our base right here. Let's put some of our filling on top. And remember, we have extra sauce in our large pan. So I do like to get a little bit of that, some of that extra sauce, because it'll soak into your rice or your noodles either way. And now come the fun part, all of our extra stuff. So I love to do cucumbers, shredded carrots like this. You can pickle the cucumbers, but I did not. I also love to do some shelled edamame. My kids love that. I made a little bit of mayo and gochujang and lime juice and water sauce right here. So I like to pour a little bit of that all over like this. And I also have the actual gochujang sauce. This is hot, so only a little. And now one of my favorite parts, if you've got some avocado laying around, it's an excellent topping for this. Look how gorgeous this is. And it's going to taste freaking amazing. And if you're really feeling it, a whole avocado per person is just fine. Are you dying? Like, I cannot wait to dig into this. Now, it's all in there and it's beautiful, but I do like to kind of stir it all together. Oh my gosh, I might add more cucumber and carrot. I just can't help myself. Option 2 is going to be to make a burrito out of it. Check this out. It is very much the same. I'm gonna use a little bit less rice because I have the tortilla right here. And I'm not gonna go crazy on the extra sauce, right? Because I don't want it to be too drippy, but my filling goes on. I have my mayo and lime juice sauce going on, my spicy gochujang sauce, and then the rest of my toppings. I have some shelled edamame, little bit of carrot, little bit of cucumber, and oh yes, the other half of the avocado. I'm just gonna slice this one to go on here. And the trick is not to overfill the tortilla, which it definitely looks like. I overfilled this. Oh no, friends. It is close. Ooh, stay. Maybe I'll just fold this side. And it'll be open. It'll be open on the other side. There we go. Like, you can't go wrong. Look how much food this is. It's amazing. Please go try this. To make our Italian style meatball sandwiches, I'm starting with the meatballs, and I did thaw this in the microwave and may have cooked the outside edges just a little bit. Oops. Don't recommend that. If you can let it thaw in the fridge overnight, highly recommend. It's a really basic meatball recipe. I have 1 pound of lean ground beef, to which I will add 1 egg, 1 small onion chopped, about 1/4 cup, 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs. These are the Panko kind. I am tossing in a little bit of Italian seasoning, mostly because I've been trying to get rid of this bottle since 2022.
I'm not scared.
I have about 1 teaspoon of that, about 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 cup of milk, and 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce for that like beefy flavor. Time to get in there with your hands and mush all of this together until well combined. Then we will form 20-ish meatballs, and I like to bake them in the oven personally. That's my favorite way to do it. So we will put these on a baking sheet, cover with foil, cook at 400 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes until it is cooked through. Then we can assemble our sandwiches. While our buns are getting toasty in the oven, I'm going to heat up this Primal Kitchen vodka sauce here in this pan and keep my meatballs warm in here. So when the bread is done being toasted and it's nice and brown, we can put the sauce and meatballs on top, some fresh mozzarella. It's gonna be delicious. For our sandwiches, I have these mini French rolls. We have some butter on top, and we're gonna stick in a 350-degree oven for about 10 minutes. And then this is the secret. You wanna pop it to broil for 2 to 3 minutes to give it that nice crispy top. Here we go. Our sauce and meatballs are very warm, and look how brown and crusty our rolls are. So let's build a sandwich and we'll kind of see how it is. These are small, right? So I'm thinking maybe only two meatballs. And if I'd been thinking ahead, I would have maybe scooped them out with my cookie scooper, so they would be a little bit on the smaller side, but it's fine. I definitely need a plate. Okay, so here's my sandwich. I want a little bit extra sauce. This is my favorite part. I got these like teeny fresh mozzarella pieces that we can put on top. And I could have done, you know, shredded mozzarella also, but the fresh mozzarella is so delicious. Now you could put this back in the oven to melt that cheese, but I think it's gonna melt just fine, just like that. Meatball sub sandwiches, delicious. For our fake out takeout noodles, we're gonna start by making chili oil. It's not as scary as it sounds, I promise. It's 3 ingredients and it's gonna blow your freaking mind. You don't have to get the crunchy chili oil from Trader Joe's anymore. So I'm starting with a warm skillet, and I have 1/3 cup of sesame oil, 6 sliced garlic cloves, oh I know, and an entire tablespoon of crushed red pepper flakes. This will cook together for about 5 minutes or so, or until the garlic becomes really, really garlicky smelling. We're gonna call that fragrant. And then we'll cool this off. You can store it in a jar in your fridge just fine. All right, I'm gonna pour mine into this stoneware container very carefully. Try not to spill. Please don't spill, please don't spill, please don't spill. Okay, there we go. Oh my, she is spicy. Now you can use this in all kinds of applications. Let's mix up a quick sauce. I know it feels like a lot of ingredients, but when you start cooking like homemade sauces for Asian dishes, you'll just have everything in your pantry and it'll come together very quickly. I have a 1/2 cup of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar, 1 tablespoon of honey, 3 tablespoons of tahini. You could also use peanut butter if you want. 1/4 cup of hoisin sauce, and 1/3 cup of water, and then give it a whisk. And that's gonna be our sauce. Let's set that to the side. To make the noodles, I am dumping 8 ounces of rice noodles into my boiling water. Cook this for about 5-ish minutes. You could also use Chinese egg noodles. I couldn't find those like anywhere. I wish I had like an Asian market close to where I live, but I don't, so I'm just using rice noodles. It'll be fine. And then I'm gonna show you how to make these noodles freaking delicious. Okay, I drained my rice noodles and they are going back into the same pot with chicken broth. I have about 2 cups of chicken broth right here. And about half of our soy sauce mixture will go in here as well. So I'm gonna bring this up to a simmer. Whoops. I'm gonna add 2 handfuls of this like coleslaw mix, which is basically just cabbage. You could also use spinach, but I have an intolerance to high histamine foods, spinach being one of them. You could also use bok choy for that. That would be delicious actually. So we'll bring this up to a simmer and then just keep it warm while we cook up our meat and onions. In a warm skillet, I have a little bit of just plain oil, and I like this recipe because it only calls for about 1/2 pound of ground beef, so it goes a really long way. And we're gonna cook this ground beef in this skillet with a little bit of onion or shallot and some green onion. So I'll break this up just a little bit. A good amount of black pepper. I love pepper.
I grind the pepper.
And I'm actually just gonna throw all of the green onion in, mostly because I don't like raw onion. That's a personal preference. You could save it to put on top. It's whatever. And we'll cook all this together until the meat is nice and cooked through. Once our beef is cooked, you could also use chicken or pork or whatever you have on hand. You don't have to use beef. We're gonna do half of our soy sauce mixture, and let's crank that heat up nice and high. We want this to get thick and caramelizey. Is that a word? Only cowards cook on low, my friends. Get it going. We want it to really thicken up and get nice and sticky. Ooh, look at how good that looks. Okay, heat is off. Last ingredient, remember that chili oil? Depending on your tolerance, you can add 1 to 2 tablespoons, or 3 if your heart so desires. I'm gonna go ahead and mix this all in with our noodles. Here our noodles have been simmering, so I'm gonna turn this heat off, pour in my meat mixture because I want this to be true takeout fashion, where everything like congeals in the fridge overnight, you know, and then you reheat it the next day. Oh my gosh, that's the best way to do it. So the heat's off now, and you can see most of the liquid has been absorbed. And as it sits here kind of warm and sits in the fridge overnight, it's just going to get thicker and thicker. And if you have saved any of your green onion, you can go ahead and sprinkle that on top. I didn't, because remember, I don't prefer raw onion personally. You have to try this, and you know what? I might double it next time. This is probably just not gonna be enough for how delicious it is. Yum. Excuse me, we need to be alone. So one of my favorite fridge clean out recipes is chili, but I feel like I've made that a lot recently. So instead we're gonna make chili that goes on a sandwich, AKA
Sloppy.
Sloppy Joe's, sloppy Joe's. So I have a pretty large pan right here. I'm gonna add a whole lot of stuff to it. A little bit of oil. I'm using avocado oil. You can use olive oil as well. And here come my veg. I have 1 purple onion, don't know how long that's been in there, and 2 bell peppers, whatever color you want. Mine were very wrinkly, which is totally fine. You can use wrinkly bell peppers as long as they're not moldy. So in my hot oil, in they go. We're gonna saute these for just a couple minutes and then we'll add our garlic. I don't wanna add the garlic too early because then it'll get like kind of burnt. I don't want that. So this is on medium-ish heat. I don't want this to be brown. I just wanna soften them a little bit. Look at these gorgeous colors. I love it so much. Okay, here comes my garlic. That's a lot of garlic, maybe a tablespoon or so, and 1 pound of ground beef going right in. And to this, I'm gonna add about a half a teaspoon of salt or so, just like that. The veggies, the garlic, and the beef will all cook together until the beef is totally cooked through, all the veggies are totally soft, and then we'll add all of our delicious spices. Of course, you can open a jar of manwich, but I'm not gonna lie to you, my kids don't love the manwich. I don't know why. They're spoiled. They don't like all that canned stuff. My ground beef is cooked all the way through, so let's add the rest of our spices right now. So I have 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, 1 tablespoon of mustard, whichever you prefer, 1/4 cup of brown sugar, a tablespoon of chili powder. There's the chili on a sandwich coming in. I have 1 full can of tomato sauce, and I'm gonna do some apple cider vinegar. You can use any vinegar. So I'm starting with 2 tablespoons right here. I'm gonna simmer this all together. And then I'll taste. If it tastes bland, that's when we can add a little bit more vinegar. But if you go too much, it's just gonna like get in your face and get in your nose, and it's gonna be way too much. My toxic trait is buying dried beans that I don't use, like garbanzo beans and lentils. I buy them thinking I'm gonna use them, and then I never ever use them. So I'm gonna be throwing in about a half a cup of cooked lentils in here. You could do red ones, although the red ones like disintegrate really well, but I have got to get these out of my pantry. And if you have any suggestions for like dried garbanzo beans that are a must-try recipe, like a must-try recipe, please put it in the comments, because those stupid dried garbanzo beans have been staring me in the eyeballs for like 2 years. Let's simmer this for 5 minutes and come back and taste. Okay, here come the lentils. It ended up expanding a lot. They were not that voluminous when they were dry out of the bag. And I gotta remind myself, don't buy lentils again, Christine. Just don't do it. Let's stir all this together. I'm gonna simmer it together for about 5 minutes, taste for seasoning, and then we'll serve it up on these delicious brioche rolls that I picked up. Okay, I just tasted for seasoning. It's really good actually, because the vinegar is so, I'm not saying vinegar is salty, but because it's so acidic, you don't need as much salt as you would have otherwise. So I have these gorgeous brioche rolls that are gonna give a nice kind of sweet balance, and we're just gonna slop it up. I know you like it extra sloppy.
It's so sloppy.
It's kind of like chili on a sandwich. It's a little like a hamburger, sort of. Oh yeah. Hey boys, come and get some. Bon appetit. Don't forget, I have all of the recipes down in the description box for free. All that information is down below in the bloop. And if you want to also check out Thrive Market, that information will be below as well. Also, you gotta go try like the Greek meatball tacos with the naan bread. Oh my gosh, huge winners. Which ones are you gonna try out with your family today? Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. So recently I went to the dentist, and I have a little bit of like dental fear, so I definitely ask for the gas every time they're doing something. So I have the gas and I'm a little nervous. They're doing some like desensitizing stuff and fixing my bite and things like that. They were like, do you want to watch a show? They give me some headphones, the remote for the TV up on the ceiling, and I popped up, Gilmore Girls was there. So I turned it on. I didn't want to start at the beginning. So I went to season 4. By the way, spoilers. So I went to season 4 where Lorelai drops Rory off at college, and I just started watching. I was in the chair for a long time, so I made it through about 2 episodes and then came home and then realized that even though I know what's going to happen, I had to keep watching. So I turned it on while I folded my clothes. I turned it on while I was doing dishes, while I was chopping vegetables. I would turn it on while I was mopping. Who am I kidding? I don't mop. I make my kids do that. And I gotta say, season 4 is probably my favorite season of Gilmore Girls, probably my all-time favorite. You've been waiting 4 full seasons for Luke and Lorelai to figure it out, and they finally do. It's amazing. And now I find myself turning it on at all hours of the day. Anytime I'm doing something and I want to have something on in the background, like I'm curling my hair, I'm doing some makeup, I turn it on because now I just need to work my way through the end. What is the matter with me? And my husband kind of refuses to watch it with me. I don't know what I was doing. I think I was folding clothes. He came in, he watched an episode with me. He's cracking up laughing. Laugh out loud laughing. So if your spouse has never wanted to watch Gilmore Girls with you, keep on trying. You'll turn them because listen, Kirk makes everyone laugh. And I gotta ask you, favorite characters in Gilmore Girls? Is it Kirk? Is it Paris? Like always, are you team Jess or team Logan? As long as you're not team Dean, we can still be friends.